So, good evening, all of you. That was quick. Suddenly it's time to do it. Good evening, Mikkel. Yes, I'm pretty sure it's Mikkel. Nice to see you. About the bush is a funny one. Here we go round the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush. That's how it goes, Count Beauty. So I hope you're all well. I hope you're all raring to go. We've got another packed class as always. I'm going to do some idioms, then I'm going to do some a bit of work with phrasal verbs and see how we go. So, good evening English for you. Nice to see you. Hi, Emmanuel. Yeah, to run amok. And yeah, we got going. Ha! Okay, so to run amok, that works. I ought to start writing these, oughtn't I? Yeah, how many synonyms do you know for run? Run amok. Very definitely. So yeah, get going. Dash from Victor Gabriel here. Hello, Cobber. Nice to meet you, meme. So yeah, Victor Gabriel. He said sprint. That's another. So we're looking for synonyms and idioms for to run. To dart. I like that dart from Vitalier. Dart, yeah. So yeah, you could run off as well. That's a good one. Yeah, run like a mad rabbit. To run like a rabbit. And let's see. Victor Gabriel says run away. Nipped. To nip is to pinch out, is to use your fingers to bite. So run, okay, yeah, to run off, to run mad. So Elena, rush, jog, that's good, I like that. Launch, Mikhail, Launch, launch. Keep on rolling, yeah. Keep on rolling. Run a company or an institution. I guess that works very well. Fly like a rocket. I think you can just say to rocket. Yeah. Running, dashing and sprinting. So sprinting is as fast as you can. Dashing just means to go fast. It normally implies that you're running out of time, and run is just run. Okay, something runs in the family. To whoosh, I like that one, Bane. To WHOOSH, that's a good one. Hasten, that's nice. I like that meme as well. Hasten. To go fast, it's a good one. Run for your life. To run somebody's life. I like those as well. So, good evening, Manu. Nice to see you. Okay, so we've definitely got quite a few. What about rushing? Rushing is going fast. Yes, Asif, to dash is a good one as well. Okay. Ooh, whoosh, lol. To run a bath. That's good. Ooh, Manjira. I like this one. To bolt. The rabbit bolted. Yeah? Shake a leg. That works as well. To shake a leg. Go fast. Get on with it. Shake a leg. To flee. Flee is run away. So that works as well. Okay. Let's leave these and let's try a few idioms. To run its course. To escape. To dash. To dash, to dash, to go fast. I'm late today. I must dash. The 100-yard dash. Yeah. To whiz, that was a good one. Animal. To scamp, that works as well. Asif, and to run dry. So let's try a few idioms. I'm tired and I'm going to bed. I'm going to hit the. There are two answers for hit these. So hit the road means to leave. Yeah, to hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. So to hit the road is to leave, to go away, and Vitalia's got this one bang on. What's the other one, Vitalia? Yes, and Count Beauty as well. Yeah. So definitely hit the sack. And lots of you have got this right. Well done, Asif. You're the first one to say hey. And T as well. So, hey, hit the hay, hit the sack. Here, hit the hay, hit the sack. Hit the hay, hit the sack. This is go to bed. Hit the sack. Yes, we got lots of right answers now. Elena, Mojgan, Manu. To hit the pillow, I guess you could say hit the pillow, but I think I've written sack twice, haven't I? Hay, that looks better. Yeah, hit the sack or hit the hay. I guess you could hit the pillow. I'm going to hit the pillow. I have heard people say that. I'm going to accept it as well. To race, that's a good one for run, Adam. Okay, so we probably ought to try another one. So, nowadays I tend to hit the sack early. And mnyog, it's hit the sack, yeah? So, hit the sack, hit the hay. It's time for me to go to bed. I need to hit the sack, to hit the hay. I think in the past we all used to sleep in the hay, yeah? So, let's see when the next one appears. Here it comes. Okay. I'm sorry to spoil your plans. Vitaly as always. I'm sorry to rain on your... I'm sorry to spoil your plans. Yes, so. A wet blanket is the phrase, Mojgan. So I'm sorry to be a wet blanket. That would work. So, let's see. Vitaliety, Voltaire. Good to see you, Voltaire. And Anya, hi, nice to see you. No, let's see. We must race, or we're going to miss the train, Victor. It works, VG, to race. It's not only related to running. Yeah, I've been racing all day, going really fast. And Adam, parade. Beatrice, parade. So Mogjan, a wet blanket. A wet blanket. This is somebody who's really boring. Yes, exactly, Mikhail. To rain on your parade. I'm sorry to rain on your parade. A person who's a wet blanket is miserable. They don't want to have fun. They don't want to do anything. So, are we going to have a party? No, I'm going to bed. I'm a wet blanket. Yeah, but rain on your parade is more to spoil somebody's plans. Your parade. I know you think you can learn English in a week, but I'm sorry to rain on your parade. It's not going to happen. Yeah, that's it, Nyog. Very good. This scheme is a get-rich-quick scheme, and it's not going to work. So I'm sorry to rain on your parade. A killjoy. A killjoy is a wet blanket. That's good. Between you, Voltaire and Victor Gabriel. A spoil sport. Yeah. A spoil sport. Yeah. Good evening, Lavinia. Great to see you. Okay, so yeah, spoil sports, like a wet blanket is somebody who is not a lot of fun. To burst your bubble, that's really good, Cheyenne. I like it. Hi, Sam. Nice to see you. Yeah, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. That's really good. I like that a lot. T is Tomek. Okay, so I understand why T. A party pooper. Yeah. I think in this one, I'm sorry to be a party pooper and rain on your parade. Okay, so now I know who T is. Okay, wow, thank you, Manjira. That's unbelievably kind of you. Thanks a lot, wow. So she takes ages to put on her makeup. She takes ages to put on her... Well, yeah, but that's... Oh, yes, you're right. I think, is makeup one word? Yeah, you're right, definitely. To put on her... What do we call it? Hi, Bass. Nice to see you. Wow. Thank you, Manjira, again. To put on her what? To put on your... It's to put on your makeup. Yeah. But, your mask is a good guess, but it's not the right one. So, I think you just got a typo, Roland, but I think you just got it right. It's not place, Roland. Change one letter. To put on her appearances? No, Tomek, not quite. I don't think anyone knows this one. Yes! Lavinia, yes! So, to put on her face. So, I guess mascara works as well, Vitalia. But in English, we say, a lady could say, I need to go and put on my face. Yeah, that's it, Victor Gabriel. It could take me, it could take half an hour to put on her face. Not pace, but face. Yeah? To put on your face is to put on your makeup. Okay. It's quite a common one. So, Nora, yes. Victor, good, Nora. So I'm glad you learned something new. You should have guessed, Hilda. In English, if you don't know something, all of you are really good students. You've got a good idea of English. Guess. Your guesses are going to be really good. Foundation works as well, I guess, Adam. But it's you need to guess. So, and Vitalia, to tart herself up, that's more than just putting on your face. That's the clothes as well, but it works, Cheyenne. So, Vitalia, and yes, Tomek, and Count Beauty, yes, and Alexei, and Anya. Yeah, so if something sounds familiar, that's it, Beatrice. Okay, and Manjira, and J. Marty Sally Yobet. So, it rang a bell. Yes, that works as well, Voltaire. So, it rings... Okay, Moj, that's good. And Hilda, it rings a bell. That's very good indeed. Okay, so something rings a bell. It's familiar. Yeah, you might not remember it exactly. I'm sure a million times you hear a word and you're not quite sure what it means, but it rings a bell. It rings a bell in the back of your mind. Whoops. Wow. Thank you, Axel, as well. That's really kind of you. So, yeah, it rings a bell, very definitely. Wow. Give me a bell. That means ring me up. Wow, thank you, Axel. Thank you so much. And thank you, Manjira, as well. That's really kind of both of you. So, give me a bell, Marty. J. Marty it's talking about ring me up. So, he's always on the... So, Tomek, if you're on your guard, and it's on your guard, then you're careful. But Vitalia, absolutely. Ben Murray, ball, very definitely. On the edge. I think something that's on the edge. I would say at the cutting edge. At the cutting edge. Okay. On the ball. Cheyenne, definitely. Voltaire, on the ball. Yeah. Flexibility, on the wave. At the crest of the wave. Yeah, Isuru, putting on your face. That's the idea. So, always on the ball, to be on the ball. This means you're concentrating, you're alert, you're competence. If you're on a roll, things are going really well, Raj. And if you're on the fence, Amimor, you can't make up your mind to do this or to do that. You don't know which thing to do. So you'd be then you're on the fence. If you're always on the go, you're always active live. Does qui vive work instead of ring a bell? No, it doesn't work, Reynard. Qui vive. No, he's alive, yeah? He's always qui vive. I guess you might just, but no one's going to understand you, Reynard. So, Roland, if you're on a roll, you're doing really well. Yeah, I'm on a roll tonight. I've had donations from Manjira and from Axel. Okay. He's always on Febrario Go. He's always switched on. Yeah, he's always switched on. That works very well. If you're always on the go, you're always walking about. You're always running about. Yeah, is on the ball. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to change and we're going to do some phrasal verbs. So, we're going to do the phrasal verb call. Let me just get a clear space here. And we're going to do phrasal verbs with call. And the first one is call after. So, can you give me sentences with call after? To call after, that's it, Georg. On the ball. So people who are determined to be at the cutting edge torpedoed their chance of developing personal relationships. Yeah, if you're always concentrating on work and trying to be at the cutting edge, then it's it can be very bad for personal relationships. So to call after. Yeah, hi vibes, I'm sorry I didn't say hello to you. So, to call back, but that'll come in a second, Mojgan. But to call after. Yeah, I will call back, that'll do fine, but I'm looking for examples with call after. So, to call after, it means, that's it, Tomek. Tomek, I was called after my grandfather. So that means my grandfather had the same name. Yes, you could call after dinner as well, but we use this as a phrasal verb to call after, to give a newborn baby the same name as somebody else. Or, so I think there was a person who called their baby after the whole Manchester United football team. Exactly, Beatrice. Thank you. Good. He called after. So he was called. Roland. So the machine was called after Andrew. Good. He called after. So. He was called after his grandmother, or he called her after her grandmother, Roland. So, Min, I am called after my father. That's it, Alexei. I was called after my dad, so Alexei's dad was called Alexei. I'm called after my friend. Good, rock and roll. She was called after her grandmother. That's better. Wow, thank you, Amimor. That's really generous of you as well. I'm definitely on a roll tonight. So, Elena, they called their daughter after their cousin. Good example. So, Manjira, he is called. It needs to be passive. He is called after his grandmother. And I'm sorry, VG. Call after person's name, please. Exactly. So, I'm called after my father, Adam. Exactly. Your dad's called Adam. My husband is called. We need to use this in the passive, Mojigan. My husband is called after his grandfather. Hymen. My sister is called after my grandmother. So, I am called after person. Yeah. Okay, that works as well. We're watching TV. Can you call after? Okay. Is named after as well. It's perfectly fine. Massimo, he was called after a Roman emperor. Maybe Nero. Okay, I'm called after my dad, Diego, which can be annoying. Yeah, you'd much rather have your own name. I can understand it, Diego. Can things be called after? Yeah. Uh, I'm wondering what the aeroplane Enola Gay was called after, or maybe this song was called Susan after my grandfather. Yeah. Okay, we're going to come to some more. I'm going to leave call after, and we're going to go to the next one, which is call at. Yeah. So to call at, this means if you call at somewhere, to stop somewhere briefly, if you're in a train or a ship or something like that. Yeah, the concert was called off. Yeah, so Ricardo, that's a good example. It's the same as named after, exactly, vibes. I was called after some kid they took care of, Hilda. My nephew's called after me. That's good, Manu. So to call at, to stop somewhere briefly. This is like a train or a ship. Yeah. So, where does the ship call? Yes, exactly, VG. Thank you. The first one to give me a call at. The train will call at the next station. Calling all stations, calling at all stations. This ship calls at the Canary Islands on its trip from Lisbon to Rio de Janeiro. Yeah, to call at. Yeah, does this train call at Oxford? Yeah, to call at. Okay, so Nirvana. Okay, the train called at Leeds train station due to minor delays. Good, Diego, that's a great answer. The train called at the bridge. Yeah, it stopped at the bridge. Okay, so to call away is going to be the next one. Yeah, to call away. Okay, so to call away, this is to ask somebody to leave a place. He's not here. He's been called away. Yeah? Okay, so to call away. The train is called at the traffic lights for a minute. That'll do fine, Tomek. I need to call at the shop. That's great, Vitalia. I like that example. Yeah. Okay, so yes, to call at a place, to stop somewhere briefly. On the way, I need to call at my mother's house. I shall call at your house someday. That's a great example, Manjira. The train calls at the moon and Jupiter. That'll do fine. There's rocket calls at the moon and Jupiter. Okay, so to call somebody away, call away your dog. Okay, Victor Count Beauty. Call away. I would probably say call your dog away. It works, Count Beauty. Victor Gabriel. The doctor was called away. That's why he's not here. My friend was supposed to call at heaven because I gave her money to buy me a graphic card. That'll do fine, Mojgan. Call them away. Okay. It's sort of like call me out. A call out. Yes, absolutely, Baz. Due to his bad behaviour, he was called away. The teacher was called away from class for 10 minutes and the kids ran riots. Yeah, phrasal verbs are super difficult, Anya. Yeah, and there's so many of them and so many meanings. They're really hard to learn. The police called him away. Yeah, he was called away by the police. Um, I asked John to call away since he was insulting me. Yeah. Let's see, Williams. I would probably say, yeah, call a halt to your dog. I'm thinking, Williams, I'd probably say, I hope John would be called away. Means somebody asks him to leave. She was called away by museum staff because of closing time. That'll do, flexibility. Yeah. The teacher calls the bad student away. I got called away at short notice. That's a really good example, Vitalia. Tomek, I called my subordinate away because he turned up drunk. That'll do, Tomek. Axel, I hosted a stranger out of benevolence, so that rascal used up all my toothpaste. So I had to call him away. Yeah. Okay. Most normally, I think we use it to be called away by a third person. The teacher was called away by the headmaster. The doctor was called away by a sick patient. Subordinate. Well, a subordinate is something that is linked to something else. Someone else is in charge, and the inferior is the subordinate. Yeah, my train is called. Yeah. So, wow. Let's see. The rude customer was called away from the restaurant. I called my dog away from the muddy puddle. I guess that would do as well. Come on, let's leave call away and let's try another one. And to call back. Yeah, this one's easy. To return a phone call. I'll call you back. He was called away by the headmaster because he threw paper at his classmates. Good. Substitute. Not necessarily. No, it's not the same as substitute English vibes. Yeah, let's see, where are we? The naughty student was called away by the director. Yeah, the director or the headmaster came to the class and said, no, come with me. And he left the class. Yeah, so to call away from a place, you're doing your duty and then you were called away by someone. Okay, I can't answer you now. Can you call me back? That's fine. The doctor was called away. Call back in 10 minutes. To safeguard, to make sure that something is okay, to make sure something bad doesn't happen, Williams. Hit me back, call me back when you reach home. To dial later in a minute, I'll call you back when I've got my chore done. I'll call you back in 5 minutes, great. Together is two things together. All together is looking at something as a whole. The man, albeit a staunch client of the bank, was called away by police due to his improper behaviour. I like that, Axel. Massimo, this flavour calls me back to my youth. I think maybe, but it reminds me of my youth. I will call you back when arriving home or when I arrive home. He was called back by the police officer to call back, to return. Please leave a message after the beep and I'll call you back. That's great, Tomek. I will call you back once I'm done with work. That's great, Nora. I'm busy. I'll call you back in 5 minutes. That's Michael. At the moment I have to finish. I'll call you back in a minute, flexibility. The relatives got cut off. They couldn't get to each other because both of them were trying to call each other back at the same time. Would you call me back? That's great. You'll get a call back tomorrow when the machine is ready. That'll do fine. She said she will call me back. So let's try the next one. Next one is to call for. To demand that something be done. To be required or necessary. To call for. So, to be required or necessary. I'm in a hurry. Could you call me back? She said she'll call back later. Both of those are fine. To call for, to need. She had to be called back while on holiday. Yeah, to deal with the backlog of work that had built up in her absence. That's a great example, Vitaly. So, yes, your good results in the IELTS exam call for a celebration. Yeah. This is too complicated for me. It calls for an expert. It needs something. Call for help. Okay, you can call for help. It calls for his resignation. I love it, Mattis. That's a really good example. I'll call back my mother-in-law when hell freezes over. That's very good, Axel. The subjunctive case is used. Demand it be done. Absolutely English vibes. My boss called for extra hours to be worked next week. Yeah, my boss called for extra hours to be worked next week. The protesters called for justice. Good example, Animal. The opposition is calling for his resignation. Great, Vitaly. I'm calling for your assistance in this. Yeah, because the situation calls for help, needs help, demands help. This is a call for action. It works as well. This calls for a meeting at the office. This needs. Good, Hilda. I call for equality and fairness. That works as well. Demand. This IT calls for great knowledge of English. That's a good example, Roland. The president called for an end to the violence. Yes, but the situation called for the army to be used. The current situation is calling for serious actions. Great, Tomek. This issue calls for specialist equipment. Good, Christian. Protesters called for a ban on cutting down trees. Good one, Rock and Roll Man, and I agree with you. Okay, a call for peace. Yeah, that works as well. Drastic times call for drastic measures. I love it, Cheyenne. We just won the competition. This calls for a celebration. Good example, English vibes. Exactly, Roland. Calls for, to require. Vitaly, this is the kind of job that calls for brains rather than brawn. Brains rather than brawn. My boss had called for the project to be done because we are facing the deadline. That works as well. This recipe calls for fresh herbs. This job calls for responsible people. This is really good. Let's try the next one then. To call in. So, make a phone call to a place or to visit a place. To call in. Axel, due to the coronavirus, workers call for more furloughs. Great, Axel. He's just called for his package. That works as well. There's a leakage of water. So the current situation calls for saving water. I love it, Vitaly. This sort of behaviour is uncalled for. Lack. I'm thinking he's saying leak, Victor Gabriel. I'm calling in sick. That's a great example, Tomek. The first one. Yeah? To call in. I was sick, so I called in. Call the children in for dinner. My grandmother called in on her way to the shops. I'll call you in on my way home. I think, Massimo, I'll call in on you on my way home. And Mattis, I'll call in on you on my way home. That's it, Mattis. Good. And Minne, They're calling for some new articles. That works as well. He was called in for questioning. Yeah. He called in and we had some tea with biscuits. Good. I called in to see him. Good rock and roll. Vibes. She called in sick because she wanted to take a day off work. The government called in troops to deal with the disturbance. That's a good one, Cheyenne. The boss called in sick, Roland. That's good. Hey, I'm at the call-in at the airport. Yeah, I guess they do call you in. They certainly call you to the gate. It's time to call in that favour you owe me. I love it, Ben. They called him in to solve this problem. Yesterday I called in sick. Good example, Mojgan. Vitaly, he finally decided to call the doctor in. Yeah, I called a plumber in. I called a professional in. His novel was an urgent call for readers to rethink more about their behavioural attitudes towards one another. Okay, call for, definitely. Uncalled for, unnecessary, exactly vibes. I will call in at Rome. I will call in Rome next year. Yeah, it works. I'll call in to my precious boss when it is a cold day in hell. So when plus present simple, Renyard. When it is. When plus present simple. Post-COVID, world leader called for a new alliance. That works, BK. A great deal of employees a great deal of employees called in sick because of the virus. Yeah. If someone was called in, you were asking for a professional to come. Yeah. So, Count Beauty, call in at the hotel to book a room. Yes. I'll call in at home when I come back. You need an at vibes. Let's look at the next one. Okay. Yes, you were asking about this one earlier. To call off, to cancel. Yeah, to call off, to cancel. Call in later when so yeah, BK, I will call in later when I reach the office. When would we say call in rather than just a simple call? To call in has got like the idea of to touch base, Voltaire. Yeah, to report. Yeah. So the boss asked me to call in every day to let him know how my trip was going. What time are you going to call in on me today, VG? I will call in tomorrow to get the results. Good. Is it call in a doctor or call out a doctor? So call in, come to you. Call out, leave his place of work. The doctor got called out because I called him in. The out is just leaving his office. The in is coming to me. Call in later when I will call in later when I reach the office. The policeman called in to see who had committed the crime. The bank has called in its loans. That's very good. If your loan gets called in, you may be in trouble. The meeting was called off. Yes, we're down to call off. Victor Gabriel, that's great. The meeting was called off due to yesterday's heavy rain. The conference was called off due to the virus. Good vibes. The match was called off. Good Amimor. Anne Williams, the match was called off. Rescuers had to call off the search because of worsening weather conditions. Good English, Cheyenne. Mangeria, the strange behaviour of his really calls for an explanation. Good call for Mangeria. Roland, we have to call off the Olympic Games this summer again. Very probably. I need to call off. No, I need to call off my dentist's appointment. Double F flexibility. Alexei, the match was called off due to bad weather. Good. Vitaly, they called off the engagement. They cancelled it. Call in the police to stop violence. Good one, BK. School was put off and then classes got called off for 2 weeks when the virus broke out. Tomek, all the events were called off due to the pandemic. Great, Tomek. Massimo, the meeting previously put off has now been called off. Very good. Put off, delay, call off, cancel. That's good, Maximo. Rock and roll. The symposium was called off because of the outbreak. Michael, the special tactics officer called in an airstrike. I love that example. That's a really good one. So it's certainly a different one. And so, yeah, call out. To call out. So this means to make a professional leave his office to visit you, or to shout, to cry out. Okay, so a call for new opportunities. Wow, I'm okay. And open air events were called off. Count Beauty, that's going owing to the quarantine. A call for new opportunities. Average, I called off our appointment. Good. The company is begging employers to call off a 6-week strike to avoid losses. Good work, Mojgan. Axel, my C2 Cambridge exam was called off due to the lockdown. That must be frustrating. Call off your dog, please. That works as well, Matus, but double F. Elena, the celebrations were called off due to the military action. That's unfortunate. Good English, Elena. Renyard, the project was called off and the group of developers was disbanded. Vitaly, the holiday had to be called off due to lockdown restrictions. Call off your dog. Good, Vitaly. Flexibility, I've got a problem with my mobile. That's all right. I sometimes have technical problems as well. Flexibility. I had to call off my reservation because of the coronavirus. We will have to call off today's session for the turbulent weather. Yes, the price of a product can put many people off. Okay, that's put off as well. That'll do. The Olympics have been called off due to COVID. He was called out by the teacher due to his bad behaviour. I'm calling out to you. That's good as well. Visual. When you get one hit, you then call out a coordinate that is 5 spaces away. Good visual. Vitaly. She didn't want to call out the doctor at that time of night. Great example, Vitaly. Matus, he got angry when she called him out on that issue. That's really good English, Matus. Yeah, Massimo, he called out, ow, that hurts. Cheyenne, if rioting continues, we have to call out the National Guard. Good, Cheyenne. BK, the boss called off the meeting because not many people could make it. Antonio, when women don't respect and step out of line, you'd better call them out. Okay, to call out here is to point out to somebody that they're behaving badly. I didn't understand. You could call your surname out, please. Good, Flexibility. Call off or call away your dog. Both work vibes. Manjira, your class should not be called off. It was a call out question to let all bring forth their slants on this critical subject. I love it, Nora. He called out in order to get the police's attention. The called out is good, Maximo. He called out in order to get the police's attention. Matus, I was calling out his name, but he wouldn't turn around. And I'm going to put on in the very last one is call round, to go to a place to visit someone. Okay, so let's see. I'm here, called out the doctor at his home. Yes, and then he was called out again, Roland. We have to call a doctor out immediately. Good, Victor. Thanks for reporting this issue to the IT team. It's a good call out. It's a good shout out. Renyard, the notary called me out in the evening for extra pay. That's good. I called out the agent for the load of processing paperwork. That works anymore. Live, she was the last to be called out in the finals. Yeah. Elena, the teacher was calling out the names of the children who were behaving too noisily. Behaving plus an adverb, Elena. If you have a pipe leakage, call out a plumber. Absolutely. Loan. Doctor, I broke my leg. Could you come and visit me? I'm sorry to call you out at this time of night. The politician was called out on his mistakes. Somebody drew attention to it loudly. Here. Oh, yes, we didn't actually summon or draft. Okay. I'm thinking about to draft as in call up, which I actually haven't done yet either. Call out the situation. I'll come back to that, Cheyenne. Anatoly, good evening. Vitaly, the president never got called out on his antics, so here you're using call out to mean to draw people's attention publicly to something. Don't call out, there are people sleeping here. Can you call me round today? So, Victor Gabriel, can you call round on me? To call round on somebody. Okay, if you're in the vicinity, do not hesitate to call round. If you call me round, you're calling me to your house. So no, call round intransitive. Call round tomorrow. Call round next week. Call round on I called round on my grandfather. And I decided to call round, but you weren't there when I knocked. Good English vibes. I called round at your flat yesterday. Good, Roland, but you were not at home. I'll call round to get my prescription later. That's good, VG. Visual. The RJ called out the right after the broadcast went off air. Yeah, to call out, to publicly criticise, to draw attention to. Matters, why don't you call around to my office after lunch? Why don't you call... the British use this the whole time, Matters. Why don't you call round at my office after lunch? It's just the in, but the Brits definitely use it. And can you get the cloths from the table for me? Yeah, okay, there are various cloths on the table, it works. I've forgotten my mobile at my friend's. I'll have to call round. Good man, Jira. I'll call round on you later. That's it, VG. Vibes. I think round in phrasal verbs are used instead of around in American English. I'm not an expert on American English, but call round, call around. When I was in Canada, I called the professor round to take the PhD position. Yeah, I guess it works. I called round at the house to check how things were. Good, Cheyenne. Call round on me and call in. So to call round on someone, to call in on someone are the same thing, yes. Call round on, call in on. Good, Victor Gabriel. I called round for a cuppa. Lose the was. Vitaly. The police were called round. Because called round the village warning the locals about fugitives. Yeah, that works as well, Count Beauty. Tomek, I just met you and this is crazy. But here's my number, so call me. Call me up. Let's do up as well, because that's the one I've missed. Okay, so to call up, either to phone somebody or to be forced to do military service. Okay, so to call up. Yeah, I expect a better opportunity will turn up. This is like turn up soon. Absolutely, Ronan. Yeah, swing by, stop by. Absolutely, Cheyenne. Those are good synonyms. Is call round and come round the same? Absolutely average. And thank you. Okay. So, Renyard, I'm calling round on Dr. Smith next Thursday instead of calling him out. So I'm going to him. And Hilda, maybe some people are confused with this last verb. Yep. Okay. So to call round, to visit. And wisdom, virtual wisdom. Isn't it true that an immense amount of modern Britishers are using pop out or pop in? Yes, absolutely. Call out, call in. Pop out, pop in. Okay. Without the was, Vitaly. Call me up. Yes, exactly. Ring me. Okay, yes, nip. That was your nip. Nip in, nip out. That works very nicely, Vibes. Hilda, the teacher called up the students. They phoned the students to see how they were doing. Yeah. So, just nip. N-I-P, Vibes. Not with a double P-E. I called out a dentist. Okay. I called up the dentist to make an appointment, BK. I called out the dentist to come to my house and fix my teeth. I don't want to be called up for military service because I'm a very weak person and I'm not good at it. No, I don't want to be called up. All draftees up to 30 years old were called up to the draft board. Probably, by the draft board as well. Nipped back, nipped out, nipped in. That works. Okay, now I understand the double PE. Mikhail, I won't be called up because I have a disability. You see, there are some advantages to your disability. Roland, he was called up by the army. Okay, but he was not eligible. Well, if you get called up, they're saying you're... Okay, yeah, maybe he had some sort of problem. Call around to visit people, exactly. Call around tomorrow. Call round. So whenever I pass my mum's house, I call round. Call round if you're ever in the area, Hilda. So call around, come to my house is the idea, Hilda. I was called up to be enlisted in the army service as a soldier. You can just say I was called up as a soldier, Nora, and you don't need any more. Okay. The sergeant called up the officers. He telephoned them. Scott to mean yes. Normally one T Vibes. Antonio, call me up in case you're outnumbered. Yeah, that'll do. This is a call up to the military to stay on standby, Bass. No one here wants to be called up for military service. Good, Victor Gabriel. Mojgan, I was called up to call my colleague up and call the meeting off. Yes, so somebody phoned you to phone your colleague to cancel the meeting. That's great, Mojgan. I wouldn't last one day there. Me neither, Victor Gabriel. And Renyard, most EU members have stopped calling up their citizens in the 21st century. Elena, to delay calling up for military service, he entered university. Yes, I know that. Okay, my friends, that's enough for today. We've been at it for ages. I will call the plumber out to fix the tap. Exactly, BK. To recall is to call up. I'm trying to call up what you said. Yes, it works, Manjira. And Axel, I'll call you up when you become an interesting person. That's a great insult. I love it, Axel. Israel was forced all men to call up. No, Israel called up all men due to the latest tension with the neighbour. So notice the state calls you up. Okay, we're going to stop now. It's enough. It's more than enough. I will see you all next week. Enjoy. Stay safe. Call the spirits of the dead. Call up the spirits of the dead. That would do as well. Thank you so much. I will see you all next week. I was called up to the Israeli army. I was not eligible for the Russian army due to my health problems. So, yes, Roland, call around for a solution. We need to call around to find someone to help us learn English. Okay, so take care, and I will, yeah, you could call a meeting forward as well, Vibes. Thank you so much. Stay safe. You're wonderful. Have a wonderful week, and I will see